So let's talk about distinctiveness. How does my brand look and feel? How ownable is it? How salient is it? So what makes a brand distinctive? Well, what makes a brand distinctive is being different, being ownable, and being consistent. So I want to take you through in a minute a little case study, but before that, it's interesting, there's some really great books on this, and I haven't read them all to be honest, but if something is easier to recall, it's more likely to be true, it's more likable, and it's more important. So if you can make it easier to recall your brand or your product, and I'll give you some examples. At Taco Bell, we launched the Naked Chicken Chalupa. The Naked Chicken Chalupa is where the shell is actually made of chicken rather than made of essentially whatever the hell we make our, flour and dough and everything else, right? So I got asked this question, which was, do you think the Naked Chicken Chalupa will do very well? Well, the good news is we test everything before we launch it, so I knew the answer was yes. But I said, well, if you're trying to sell something to a 21-year-old male and the first word is naked, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a huge success. And I honestly don't think in retail we put enough thought into what we name things. We tend to give brands very functional names, or products very functional names. Yet I would argue we don't do things for functional reasons. And so trying to find evocative names is actually really a part of the process that I think a lot of people sort of jump through too quickly. If you remember nothing else about this presentation, I want you to remember this. Distinctive brands are magnets, not mirrors. I think a lot of people try to create brands that reflect the consumer they're trying to appeal to. That ad I showed you from Australia does not reflect really the people we're trying to appeal to. But it made that brand a magnet. And too often, and I look around because I'm the journeyman of watching other brands, is that I think far too often we believe that what we have to do is reflect our customer. But if you're in a competitive set that has the same customer, and you're all reflecting the same customer, how on earth are you distinctive? You can't be distinctive. What you've got to be is you've got to understand what your brand stands for, which is why we go through the whole process, the brand essence for each of the brands. And then what you've got to do is decide, what is it going to make, what do I do that makes me a magnet? To attract the people that are actually attracted to my brand, not for me to reflect the people that so-called everyone else is trying to appeal to. This is really important, and I think a lot of brands fail because they just basically try to reflect what they've been told the target audience is and not to act as a magnet for the people that you want to be drawn to. So I'm going to just take you through a little case study that's got nothing to do with fast food or retail, to be honest. I'm going to talk about Virgin, and Virgin Atlantic in particular. So I just want you to have a look at that. So what do you all see? I need some active participation in the audience now. Yeah, what brands do you see up there? You see American, yeah, what else? And British Airways. What's interesting, most people never even see the British Airways. They're over on the right. I mean, is that not a world of... How many snow-covered Alps can you fly over? I'm surprised the planes didn't crash into each other flying over the same snow-covered Alps, trying to take the same boring photograph as everybody else. Now, this is Virgin Atlantic. To the airport and make it swanky, no ordinary premium economy. Make it an adventure, make it epic. Life doesn't come to you, so go get it. Now, what's really interesting is that they look, feel, and act differently than the rest of the category, which goes back to being a magnet, not a mirror, okay? This is what it's all sort of being driven back to. Here's what's more important. Does it actually drive results? Well, in 1993, this is the spontaneous brand awareness. So Virgin was 50, whatever, we'll call it 54. British Airways was whatever, we'll call it 87. In 2009, now it's important, British Airways has 10 times the number of planes flying as Virgin. So imagine if you were in retail, someone had 10 times the number of outlets you've got. But in this case, Virgin Atlantic has more spontaneous brand awareness with 1/10 of the amount of assets as British Airways. So being distinctive actually works. What a surprise. What a surprise. Okay, we said about Taco Bell being a lifestyle brand. And so what does a lifestyle brand mean to us? Well, in the top left corner is the Cantina, which is on the Strip in Las Vegas, where not only can you buy beer and alcohol and Taco Bell, you can get married. Yes, we will marry you for $600, and we don't care. We have his and hers, his and his, and hers outfits, so we're completely open to every opportunity. The bouquet is made of sauce packets. We throw in all the food. And does anyone want to guess how many people we've married? We've married well over 100 people in a Taco Bell. I think that sort of makes you a lifestyle brand. Forever 21, we just did a program at Taco Bell with Forever 21 where we actually had clothing in a number of Forever 21 stores. It sold out in days. In fact, the online part of it, one of the hoodies sold out on the first day. Go to the middle, we're about to launch chips. You will find Taco Bell chips and nacho chips in your Kroger, Walmart, C-stores, hopefully Walgreens if they want to take it. I can actually probably get something out of this today, I get a sale. And so why would it limit you to having a Taco Bell experience just at a Taco Bell? Why not deliver a Taco Bell experience through chips? So we're launching the mild, fire, and classic, and have very high expectations for that. And then, as you can see, everything else. You know, it's interesting. In beverages, we were sitting down one day and we said, "What is it that we eat that we'd like to drink?" We're sort of like, that's what we do at Taco Bell. Just what would we like to drink that we eat? And the answer was candy. And so we started playing around with, well, what if we made drinks that were from candy? And so this is actually, it's a great story because Mars owns Starburst, Mars Confectionery. So we phoned up Mars Confectionery and said, hey, we'd like to launch a Starburst Freeze. And they said, oh, we don't sell one of those. We said, no, we know you don't. We would like to do it and use your Starburst. Now, what's interesting is we didn't even pay a license fee. How good was this? They were like, oh, I guess that's okay. So they now do charge us a license fee. The very first one we did was actually the pink strawberry flavor. Not the biggest selling Starburst flavor, but the one that looked the most visually sort of arresting. So we went down to the beach at Laguna Beach. We simply shot it. We did no TV behind this, and we sold 3 times the volume of Starburst freezers and created this entire range of, and if you think we make a lot of money selling drinks, think about how much we make selling aerated drinks. Okay, part of making yourself distinctive is when you try to launch something that you're the 107th person to do. And that was fries. So we had not launched fries for a very long time for a number of reasons, but we decided we'd get into the fry business. And if you're going to be the 107th person to launch them, you better be distinctive. So this is how we did it. And you'll notice we have our own production company, actually called Live Must Productions. So this is how we did it.
Daddy! I want fries.
Honey, Taco Bell doesn't have fries.
I wonder why not. Careful where you go dipping around. Fries seasoned in Mexican spices, dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce.
Sounds delicious.
Someone doesn't want you to taste them.
Big fries have been riding the ketchup train for 50 years. Now you come poking around about Mexican spices, nacho cheese sauce. You've made someone very, very salty.
The kid's getting close.
So scare him off.
Daddy, look.
Honey, where did you get that?
The clown gave it to me.
Why are they doing this? Taco Bell's nacho fries are a threat to their monopoly. And you know too much.
Nacho cheese sauce? Mexican spices? They don't want these coming out.
Who's they?
The burger people, they!
These nacho fries are consuming you.
Looks like you got yourself in some hot oil.
Yeah. So I think that's how you make yourself distinctive. And look at the production values to sell a $1 product. No, I think it's serious. I think I'm going to talk about this a bit later, which is when we get to value, everyone sort of like dumbs down everything and treats it like it's an apology rather than a celebration. So I'll talk about that a little bit more. Ease. Easy to order, easy to afford, easy to get. We are obviously behind Domino's, I make no bones about it. We forgot that easy beats better. We thought better beat better, and we're in the better pizza business, and Domino's have done a really good job on us, but the good news is we're fighting back. And this is the great thing about business, it's always unfinished, so there's always plenty to do.